Hello students, welcome to part 4 of how to program the video game Jumpy Monkey using Scratch. So when the monkey has collected all the bananas, a game over message is broadcast ending the game. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a sign and we're going to tell the player how many launches were used to collect the bananas. So we're going to draw a new sprite here. So in the sprites list, let's click on the paintbrush. And we're going to create a sign like this, that looks like this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the circle tool, the ellipse tool, and we're going to color it in. So we're going to fill it in, and you can choose any color that you like. So I'm just going to choose this color to begin with, and I'm going to draw an oval that fills a good portion of my paint editor. And then what I want to do is when I've let go, I'm going to position it into the center of that paint editor there. Okay, and then I'm going to click outside of that shape. I'm going to lock it into position. I'm going to click on the circle tool again, the ellipse tool, and this time I want to choose the outline. So I'm going to choose a color that I want to outline this oval in. So I'm going to choose a darker color because I chose kind of a lighter shade for the inside. And in the bottom left hand corner, I'm going to set the width to be a little bit thicker so it stands out. It's going to look a little bit stronger. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to approximate the shape and size of that ellipse, and then you want to move it into position. And then from here, it's just about adjusting so that it kind of fits over that first circle, so that it looks like that circle has a nice border or a ring around it. Okay, that turned out pretty well. So let's click outside of that. Now again, you can choose different colors. You can try to draw it at different attempts. You can undo, you could redraw over. Just get it to look really nice, really neat. All right, let's click on the text tool. I'm going to use black as my text color, but you can choose any color that you wish. And I want a pretty standard font, so I'm going to keep it on Helvetica. I'm going to click in the top portion of my ellipse or my oval, and I'm going to type in all capitals, well done. And that's going to be my first text box. So I'm going to click on the select tool. I'm going to click on that text box, and I'm going to increase the font, and I want to position it in the top half of that oval. I'm going to create another text box below it, so make sure you've got it in the top half of that oval. Okay, so let's click back on the text tool. It should remember the color that I chose, black, and it should remember my font. So I'm going to click in the bottom part of my text box, and then I'm going to type in you use, and I'm going to put a lot of spaces in here, maybe 7 or 8, hit the space bar 7 or 8 times, and then I'm going to put launches. So you used blank launches. I'm going to click on the select tool, I'm going to click on that text box, and I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. And I want to position that and center it underneath the first text box. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. So here in the sprites list, let's rename this. So let's click on the I button, and instead of sprite 1, let's call it game over. Okay, game over. That's the name of the sprite, and then let's go back. Okay, so let's click back on the scripts tab here. Let's go to the data blocks, and we're going to make a new variable, another variable. And we're going to call this variable launches. And then we're going to click OK. And we do want to make sure that it appears on the screen. So we want to make sure that the check mark is checked here. But we're going to right click on the counter, okay, on the variable here. We're going to right click, and you should get these options here. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to right click right on where it says launches, and you should get these options. So what I want to do is I want to choose large readout. So now what appears is instead of the variable, just the value appears. I'm just going to place it in the top right hand corner for now. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're on the game over sign, and we're going to add these scripts. So we're going to add 3 scripts. So let's click on the events blocks. Let's go to when the green flag is clicked. We'll go to data, and we'll set launches. set launches to 0. So when the game starts, you haven't launched anything yet. So the counter is set to 0. We're going to hide the variable launches. We're going to hide this number. We're going to hide it, and then we're going to hide the whole sprite here. We're going to hide. Okay, so you don't see this sign until the game is over. So let's go to the events blocks. When I receive the game over message, I want to go to motion blocks, the blue motion blocks, and I always want the signs to appear in the middle of my screen. So go to X, Y, X value of 0, the origin, and the Y value of 0, the origin. Go to X, Y, we'll go to the purple looks blocks, and we'll go to front. We want this sprite to appear in front of all other sprites, and then we want to show that sprite. Okay. Then we'll go to the data blocks, and we'll go show variable, and we want to make sure that it says launches here. Show variable launches. So this shows how many launches it took for you to complete the game. And then we'll go to the control blocks, and then we'll stop all. So when the sign is shown, the game ends. So all other sprites, all other scripts will stop. Okay. All right, let's go back to the events blocks. When the key is pressed, when the space key is pressed, we're going to go to the data blocks, and we're going to change launches by 1. So every time you launch the monkey, the launches increases by 1. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, so let's go to File, and let's go to Save. So let's run the game and try to collect all the bananas. Okay, so before you do that, this is what you're looking for. Okay, it's going to take me a couple minutes or a minute to play the game. So when you finish the game, we want the sign to appear. Okay, and then I want you to stop. So I'm going to click on the green flag, and I'm going to play my game. I'm going to try to collect the bananas in the least number of launches possible. Okay, so I'm going to go for a good score here. Okay, so hopefully you were able to collect all of your bananas, and your sign "well done" should appear. So what you'll notice is that the launches counter appears in the top right hand corner, because that's where I pushed it. That's where I put it. So what I want to do is I want to grab that counter, and I want to place it right in the middle of my sign here, my "well done" sign, my game over sign. And it should remember that position from now on. Okay, so if I go to File, Save, and then if I play this game again, so I want you to play your game again, I want you to get a good score, I want you to try to collect all of the bananas in the smallest amount of launches possible. Oh, this one's going to be very tricky to get here. Okay, so when you play the game again, it should remember the position here. So in the second game, I didn't do as well. It took me 17 launches to complete the game. Okay, so let's add a backdrop now. So from the stage list, from the sprites list, let's go here to the stage information panel. Okay, and then from the tabs, let's click on backdrops. And let's choose a backdrop from the library. So make sure you're on the stage portion here, the stage info panel, and I'm going to choose a backdrop. So you can choose any backdrop that you think is appropriate. Okay, you can look through them, you can experiment with them. I'm going to choose a very simple one called Blue Sky, but again, you can choose any background that you wish. And now I'm going to click OK. So now I've got my background. Okay, but I'm still going to be working on this background. So what I want to do is in the bottom right hand corner, I want to make sure I convert to bitmap mode. And I'm going to add some instructions to the top left-hand corner of the screen. So I'm going to click on the text box. Okay. And then in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to start my text box. And this is what I want you to type. So we're going to type the instructions, and I want to do it in all capitals. So I've pressed the caps lock key on my keyboard. So the first thing is launch angle. And then I want you to hit enter so that it drops down to the next line, the next paragraph. And then I want you to type in launch speed. And then hit the enter key so it drops down to the next line. And then press space to fire. Okay, so these are the 3 instructions that you want anyone playing your game to know. The launch angle, the launch speed, and the press space to fire. So once you've got those instructions typed, let's click on the select tool. I want to click on that text box, and then we can do some adjusting. So I'm going to decrease the size of those instructions, but I do want to place them in the top right-hand corner here. Okay? All right, so we're missing the left, right, up and down kind of symbols. So unfortunately, we can't get those through our keyboard, so we have to draw them. So once you've got that text box in the right position, let's click on the line tool. And again, we don't want a very thick line. So in the bottom left-hand corner, let's adjust the line width and make it quite thin. Okay. Now remember, I made that font pretty small, so I can make my line width pretty small. Okay, so I can zoom in a bit. It's going to be easier to draw. And let's use our sliders so that we're looking in the top left-hand corner. All right, so when we draw these arrowheads, let's hold the shift key. So first, I want to draw 2 horizontal lines here. 2 horizontal lines. They're kind of on the same level and the same length. So then I want to draw arrowheads. This time, don't hold the shift key. I want to draw arrowheads for the left key, the left arrow, and then the right arrow here. So those look pretty good. And again, you can undo, you can get it just right. All right, so for the launch speed, we need an up arrow. So let's draw 2 vertical lines holding the shift key, And then let's draw the arrowheads. We can draw the up arrow first, and then we can draw the down arrow. It doesn't really matter the order. You could have drawn the down arrow first. Okay? All right, those look pretty good. So let's zoom back out. Let's see how that's going to look. Okay, that looks fantastic. All right, so the last thing is we're going to add a few sound effects. So right now, if you look at your stage, it's pretty crowded here. So let's move the launch speed counter or the launch speed display to the top right-hand corner, or you can place it in the bottom right-hand corner. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's go to File, let's save. All right, so let's add some sound effects. So let's click on the monkey sprite. Let's click on the monkey sprite, and let's make sure we're on the scripts here. Okay, so we're going to look at the second script here. When the space bar key is pressed, let's go to Sounds. Okay, and first let's click on Sounds. Let's click on the Sounds tab, and let's choose a sound from the library. So we're looking for the boing sound. So here it is here. You can test it by clicking on the play button. All right, so I like that one. I'm going to click on boing, and I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to go back to scripts. I'm going to click on the sound blocks, and I'm going to play sound boing when the space bar is pressed. When the space bar is pressed, I want to play that sound boing. So when we launch the monkey, it's going to play the boing sound. Then let's click on the bananas sprite here. Let's click on the bananas sprite. Click on the bananas sprite. And then we're going to load a new sound for the bananas. So let's click on the Sounds tab. Let's click on Choose a Sound from the library. And I want to choose the sound called Chomp. Okay, this is what it sounds like. Okay, that's a good one to kind of evoke the image of the monkey eating the banana. So let's click on Chomp and then click OK. Let's go back to the Scripts tab. So what we're going to do is we're going to place it here under Wait until it is touching the monkey. We're going to click on the Sounds blocks, and we're going to play the sound Chomp, I want to place it underneath wait until touching monkey 2. So the sound won't play until the monkey touches the banana. Okay, so let's go to File, Save. So when you play the game, when you click on the green flag, these are the things that you're looking for. Number one, you're looking for your new background to appear. Number two, you're looking for the instructions to appear in the top left-hand corner. Number three, whenever you launch the monkey, you should be hearing the boing sound. And whenever you touch the bananas, you should be hearing the chomping sound. Okay, so please test your game at this point. Okay, so this concludes part 4 of the video game project, Jumpy Monkey. Thanks for watching. Bye.